The Promised Neverland, episode 4, 291045 was really good. I also figured out what the numbers are at the beginning finally. I thought it was to do with, obviously, because they've all got numbers on their necks, and I tried to look at them, and doesn't give much of a hint. However, what I think it is, well, what makes sense to me is the dates. It's not a conjoined number, it's a date. It's the 29th of October in the year 45. And because obviously, like, you look at the dates and like the titles for the other episodes. So, like, the first episode I think is 141045, and then the next one's the day after, and that's episode 2. And now this one is like a couple of weeks later, so it's obviously that date. The year 45 is a question because they acted like it was 2015. So either it's 2045 or maybe it is 2015, and in this like story it's been 45 years since the demons showed up or something like that. That's my guess with it in any case. But yeah, I really like this episode. There were some things I was like, Matt, you're an idiot, but at the same time, it's me, and you know, real good points there, Matt. So one of my favourite things was how this episode started, the conversation with Isabella and Chrome. I thought it was done so well because it was just like this most roundabout way of like, you know, she just like going, oh, well, you're good, and you're good. It's her way of going, listen, I'm in charge. I can do this on my own. I just asked for a bit of help to make it easier. If you're lucky, you'll be a mom after this, but remember, don't mess with me. I just love Isabella's speech at the beginning. It was really good. And I was like, oh, Isabella, like, I'm interested to learn more about her. Well, like, I'm just interested in general about all these characters, really. But then, once again, it's that thing about Chrome. It's like, she goes back to her room, acting smiling, and she's like, that damn woman, ah! And then, I'm like, Chrome, this is a big house, but it's made of wood. Why are you screaming and shouting? I'm not surprised if Isabella's just like, she's only a few doors away. She's like, just like loving that she's annoyed Chrome this much, to be honest. But the main kind of chunk of this episode, which I thought was done pretty well, was the whole traitor aspect of it, because obviously we're trying to figure out who the traitor is, and it's all like these little things that they do. So like, maybe first of all, like they introduce the fact that maybe like a little kid's a traitor, so they talk about Philip, and I was like, yo, if Philip's the traitor, that would be just like a little surprise. If it's just like one of the little kids who's actually like pretty smart and crafty, that would be good, but they didn't go that way, and I'm actually prefer it, because I'm like, actually, if you've seen JoJo, it's like the talking baby, it's like, okay, I don't think I like this as much as I used to. But I suppose the main thing I take from this is I really liked how they did all the different stuff with the traitors. Like, they make you think about all these different ideas. And like, looking back as well, it's more obvious that Ray's the traitor with his reactions and stuff. Well, not like super obvious, but the fact is, okay, Ray being the traitor, that should have been super obvious from the beginning, mostly because, yeah. Because out of everyone, like, they were like, well, we need to figure out how to survive. And I just dismissed Ray as being the traitor, because I was like, he's one of the main characters, they've set him up like this, I don't think Ray's going to be the traitor. Like, you know, he's in the, mostly because I was like, he's in the openings, he's like super involved in the story, I don't think he's going to be the traitor. But of course, it is super obvious from that line, and I just dismissed it, and that's my fault for, like, overlooking that kind of fact. But what I did really like was, especially with the two kids whose names escape me, Don and the girl, I really liked how they were handled in this story. I thought it was really, like, just kept you on your toes, like, guessing who's the traitor, who's the traitor, who's the traitor. And, like, the only thing I didn't like about this episode is probably that long, like, hallway shot. Like, you know when she's, like, they go through the hallway and they're walking. And, like, I think that was also, they could just, like, I think that was padding for time more than anything. I was like, what's going on with this? And I was waiting for some kind of, like, tension, but, like, there was no real tension to be had. Like, it's not even, like, surprise, so it wasn't, like, I think that might have been better in a situation where, like, if Emma, Norman, and Ray were talking, and then, like, we get to that footsteps, and I'm like, who's this? Who's this? Who's this? And then, like, that would keep me tense. And then it's revealed that it's Don and the other lady, whose name escapes me, who I really enjoyed in this episode. I thought it was all done super well because, like, of Norman's plan as well. He makes it clear, of course, that, you know, well, one of these two are going to be the traitor, and we know this because, like, he's like, well, words. He goes, one of these two are going to be the traitor. I'm going to tell them each individually where the rope's hidden, and then I'm going to go, like, and then we'll see which one. We'll check the rope. If it's not there, then we know it's one of them. I thought that was super good. And just like all these small stuff. So like when what's-her-face gets up in the night and then like just gives that look, I'm like, oh boy. And then just, it was just really well done, that whole like scene with Crone as well, where she's like, no, I've got nothing to say. And then it's just that relief that I felt like Emma did as well, where she's like, yes. Like, okay, so then we learn obviously that none of them are traitors because Ray's the traitor. And yeah, Oh boy. And that was super clever of Norman. I do like that, and I'm actually really excited to watch the next episode, which I had to hold off on. Normally I'll watch it on the day it comes out. I'm normally ready about the time, but this time I wasn't. But in any case, I'm ready to see what happens next. Something I think they also did really good setting up stuff in the future as well, because, you know, Norman told him that Connie is not dead and she's missing, and Ray has that little conversation with him. We need them on our side for now. This is what we'll tell them, and eventually we're going to have to tell them the truth. And I'm excited to see that moment where the truth comes out that Connie's dead, especially because Don, he was pretty, he was close to Connie out of everyone. He looked after like an older brother. So when this kind of truth comes out that they're dead, this will be interesting to see how he reacts, whether it's against Norman and Emma and Ray or against everyone else. But in any case, with you know, obviously Ray's going to join them again, because, like, you know, as Norman and Emma had that conversation where she was like, you know, because before he went and confronted Ray, he said, like, you know, oh well, what are you going to do if we find the traitor? And Emma straight was like, straight shonen style, I love it, just going like, oh no, they'll come with us as well, because they might be doing this to protect themselves, but if we escape, they're all going to be in trouble. Especially him for being the traitor, you know, for being like the spy on the inside. So yeah, we dragged them along with us, even if they hated it, even if they didn't want to. It's the best way to keep him safe. And I was like, Emma, I really like her. I like her a lot as a character, mostly because she's stereotypical shonen, but it's good. It's good and it's done well. Also, I do like the fact that we are not like really wasting time as well with the story. So like, what I mean is, like, we could, like, there's like a good chunk until like the next deadline, but but Norman's like, no, we're gonna outwit them. 10 days. We're leaving in 10 days, and obviously that's what I meant about like I gave it a little. I was just like skipping through, like just getting refreshed on it. Like Ray's face when he like sees that, it's like, what? And then it just changes completely. I'm obviously want to see how this next conversation goes. You all know about it. I don't have a clue, but I'm ready to see what happens. I liked it though. What did you think? I think I've pretty much got all the main points. It was super interesting. I would have gone into a bit more detail, but I'm behind trying to catch up, and I just want to watch the next episode because it's a good series. Cool. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I rate it. It's a